Hi friends, it's Carolyn Zook here with Zook Stitch, and today is Saturday, August 20th, 2022. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch. I'm so glad that you are here spending part of your day or evening with me. It has been a busy week. I went back to the office for the first time in 3 months, almost 4 months on Thursday. So that was good. It was a little shock to the system to remember how to get up earlier and put on office appropriate clothing and commute. But it was all good. And then next week, I start working from the office Monday through Thursday, and then I work from home on Fridays. So we are gearing up. We have a lot of meetings next week. That's just kind of back to school type meetings and trainings and that type of thing that we do every single year. And then the following week, the students start, classes start back up. So it'll be a very busy week. This past week has been busy, but it will be another busy week. And we're ready to go for the next academic year, which is crazy to think about. I can't believe it's the 20th of August already. I feel like I say that every episode, but this month has just flown by. So that's what I've been up to this week. Really, just a lot of work, honestly, but it's all good. If you've been with me for a while, you know I love my job, so I'm very fortunate for that. I completely forgot to add in pictures of my tables last week. Many of you commented, like, where were the pictures? I just forgot in editing to put them in, so I made myself a note. I'm going to insert them here. So first up, it is much later in the evening. I have been struggling with this video all day long. For some reason, the pictures that I'm adding in will not upload to my computer. I think it has something to do with me potentially running out of space on this computer. So I thought I would hop on here really quick and just show you the table on my camera, on my phone, because I cannot get these pictures to upload. I've been dealing with it since noon today, and it is now almost 9:30 at night. So here is the old table. This is what it looked like. And then here's another picture of the old table, which I really like. The chairs did not come with the table. I had to buy those separately, but I sold them all together as a set. And I will be back in a minute with pictures of the new table, which again, like I said last week, I really, really liked it. There was nothing at all wrong with it. It was just a little too big for that space. And I want to put cabinets in where that table is. And I'm upstairs in my craft room now, as you can see. But I don't really work up here, I've found. After I've been in this house for a little over a year now, I don't work up here. This is really my dedicated craft room. In the summer, it does get very warm upstairs, so it's going to be hard. I work from home over the summers, and then I work from home maybe a couple months in winter when the students are on winter break. And it's just in the summer, which is when I'm mostly working up here, it just gets too hot and stuffy to work upstairs. So I found that I work downstairs. And so that's where the wall of cabinets is going to come in handy, and a built-in desk down there. So it will become sort of an office downstairs eventually. That's not going to happen till after the holidays, though. But so that's the old table. And then my new table. And here is the new table. It looks like this. So there you go. That is the new table. And I love it. It fits that space perfectly. There was just kind of this dead space right there that was just calling for a smaller table. This table, the new table, does expand a little bit. So not too much, but that's okay. I don't really have a lot of people over. But yeah, so I love it. It's working out very well. And yeah, so when it was delivered, I looked it over and it looked fine. And then after they left, I noticed these little holes in the tabletop. I don't know what they are from. I contacted the company and they were wonderful to work with. So we're doing a replacement. So they're coming next Saturday to replace it. So it's very bizarre. And they said that has never happened before and they've never seen that. And it's very bizarre. But we're all good. They are a great company. I got it from Dania, which is a Scandinavian design. If you look up Scandinavian design in your area, my store here in the Portland metro area is Dania Furniture. It might be called something else where you live. But that's where I got it from. All right, so that is correction. The pictures are in here now. Thank you for all of you who were so curious to see about the table. When I got the first, I think my aunt Gail messaged me first. She's like, "You didn't put in the pictures, and I really wanted to see your table." I was like, "Oh yeah, I completely forgot." And then I saw a bunch of the messages, and I was like, "Oh dear, a lot of people want to see these tables." So there you go. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. So coming up, the other just kind of announcement that I have to make is for the magazine monthly challenge. It is our Facebook group that I co-run with my good friend Robin of Bird's Eye Stitches. And so we have a Facebook group. It's always linked in the description box down below. And the goal is to stitch out of magazines, but you don't have to stitch out of magazines is essentially what it is. So 2 announcements for September. First, we've released the regular theme and acrostic for September. So the theme for September, so in case you're not familiar with how this works, you pick your own projects that go along with the theme or the acrostic. An acrostic is just a word, and you take each letter from that word and make it fit the project somehow. So that can be the chart title, the designer title, the fabric, something that's going on in the chart that you're designing or that you're stitching. Anything like that. We like creativity, right? So make it work for you. So every month we have just our regular theme and acrostic. So for September, our theme is travel. And then our acrostic is explore. EXPLORE. So it's a bit of a longer one this month, and there may or may not be some trickier letters in there. With, the X might be a little bit tricky. You set your own goal too, so we don't tell you what goal to set. You set your own goal depending on what else you have going on that month. However, September also brings our much-awaited AB Singo, which is a month-long pop-up challenge, and in the Facebook group, there's an event that you can join with all the instructions, and under the files, you'll find a couple documents. One is a planning worksheet. And then one is it's like a blank bingo board, essentially. And AB Singo, you take every letter of the alphabet and you plug it into your bingo board and you find projects that work with that. And the goal on that one is 100 stitches or 1 hour, whichever you do. Some people count stitches, some people count hours, some people do neither, but they can kind of pick what works for them for this challenge. And the night before, I will call the letter for the next day that you have a day to stitch on it and get that done, and you can mark it off on your bingo board. And so it's called AB Singo because we use every letter of the alphabet, except there are only 25 spots on the bingo board and there are 26 letters in the alphabet. So each year we will randomly take out a letter. And last year I got to choose. I chose S to take out because it's a very common letter. It's a pretty easy letter, so we want to take that out because it is a challenge. And then this year, so Robin got to choose this year, and she decided to take out the letter H. So you find a project for every letter in the alphabet except for H. And so this, it's really fun. We have a lot of fun. It goes through the whole month, even though there's 25 blocks. So that would say, okay, it goes through September 25th. But then you have those last, 5 days of September to do any makeup that you need to do. So if you got behind or you're traveling or something like that, you just need to make up a day or two. You will have those 5 days at the end of the month to make up your 100 stitches or 1 hour of stitching. Yes, you can double dip between this and the acrostic for the month if you want to. You can use one project for the whole thing if you want to. That's always a fun challenge. So however works for you, but the goal is 100 stitches or 1 hour each day, essentially. So if you have done Bringo in January with us before, or if you did AB Singo last year with us, nothing has changed. It's set up the exact same way if you're familiar with our month-long challenges. The only difference is that we are not using the letter H for this ABC and Go. So I hope you'll join us. We are very excited. Planning is well underway. Our Facebook group is so great. And if you have questions or you need help thinking of how can I make this project work for such and such letter, or I'm stuck on such and such letter, our group is really great to help you kind of think creatively about how to complete your board. So there we go. I hope you'll join us, and we're so excited to get that going. I have my board mostly planned out. Well, not my board, but my projects. I'm waiting for the WIPGO calls, which is not going to be for another week or so because I need to fit in some spots, but I want to wait and see what the WIPGO calls are going to be for September before I finish up my board. So there you go. So please join us. It's so much fun. We have a blast, and you get a lot of progress done on your projects as well. So we had a couple questions from last week. I'm not fully through the comments from last week, but most of the way. Lots of introverts there. I made a comment about how my jobs are very extroverted. It's a lot of public speaking, a lot of talking, but naturally I'm very much kind of an introvert. And so a lot of you said, yes, I am an introvert as well. At StitchCon, we were talking about it. I think there's a lot. I think stitchers tend to be very introverted. But when you put a bunch of introverts in a room together with something they're very passionate about, it gets quite loud. So that was really fun. And so, yeah, I think stitchers tend to be, not always, of course, but I think they tend to be more introverted. Stacy M asked to see a close-up of the snowflakes in Winter Quakers. Several of you said that you were sad that this is now going away for the year. This is by Rosewood Manor. And you will see on the design here on the picture, you can just barely see it. There are these little snowflakes scattered throughout. And Stacy, I think this is what you meant you wanted to see a close-up of. So that on the chart is called for. So the called for is Valdani, and you use Valdani threads as they come off the ball, which is 3 strands of Valdani. But the little snowflakes in the background there, which you can barely see, are called for in 1 strand because they're essentially backstitch. I, however, am doing them in all 3 strands. So I'm doing them just like I'm doing the rest of the piece. Honestly, one, I forgot to split my strands when I first started. And then when I realized it, I was like, oh, I have to split those strands. And I had done several of these little, there's a lot of these little snowflakes throughout. I realized that I really like it because they show up really well. So Cece said, can you show us a close-up? So I'm going to show you from far away first. And then we can look at a close-up of some of these. So you can see, they're big and bulky for sure. Especially like this one is, some of these are quite bulky. One I had to change the design of because it just won't work with 3 strands. But I really like it because, I don't know, for me, I like to see it very, very strongly. Because it's a part of the design. And I don't know, it just works on this particular design. I didn't want them to be background. So again, there you can see how it fits with the rest of the pattern so far. And then let me show you some more close-ups. I'm not sure. So, it works. It definitely works, I think. But you could try it with 2 strands if you wanted to. Whatever you want. So, Stacey, I hope this is what you wanted to see. Yeah, I like it. I really like it because I really think it's a lot of work to put those little tiny snowflakes in throughout. It is a lot of work, but I'm really happy with how it is showing up with the 3 strands. But if you don't want it quite that prominent, you could try it with 2 strands if you want to. If you're doing a DMC conversion, you can try it with 2 strands as well. But that is what I am doing. So hopefully, Stacey, that answered your question on that. But let me know if you have other questions. Okay, let's get into the stitching this week. I have not one, but 2 finishes. You're never going to believe it. All right, so first up, I finished Educated. I mean, it's educated, but educated. This is by Bent Creek, which is the Garon focus on a designer for the month of August is Bent Creek. I started this back in, I think, February. This was sent to me by my friend Andrea. And I'm stitching this on a piece of, oh gosh, I didn't write it down, but it's like 14 or 16 count Aida with, it's like gold Aida. It has a little sparkle in it, if you can see. And here is our little friend, all done. This took me 10 3/4 hours to complete. You can see this is not part of the design if you're new. This is from a previous design that I had started stitching and abandoned, but this works on this piece. I did take out, there is a white pumpkin here. I did take that out, and the rest I think won't show up when I find a frame for it, so I'm not even going to bother taking that out. But here he is. He's so cute. I just used what I had in my stash, so I changed a lot of the colors, but I think he's really, really cute. So this was a super fun piece. It was super quick to stitch and get a finish on. So that's really fun. I'm super happy to have that done. That was started this year and finished this year. So he's going to go in my finish to be FFO'd pile. Next up, I finished one of the early bird bouquets. So I was working on this for the bee in August is acrostic, which is bird for Robin's birthday month. So bird. And this was the bee for early bird bouquets. This is in the Cross Stitcher magazine from August 2019. This is what the cover looks like. And this is, well, I guess you don't need to see what it will look like because I haven't finished, but this is what it will look like. And this is designed by Felicity Hall. So I stitched this on, I think it was a 28 count Lugana. And I'm telling you, this back stitching took me forever. I think it took me over 4 hours just to do the back stitching, but here it is. I mean, back stitching really makes a difference. And so here it is. I'd like to finish these in a hoop, maybe, if I can do that. But look at that. Isn't that cute? Yeah, this back stitching took forever just because there's so many lines and that type of thing in it with the flowers and all that. I'm so happy with the way it looks, especially from a distance. I think it's super, super darling. So that one is done. And I'm not considering this, I don't know, I'm going back and forth. And I talked a little bit about this last week. Like, it is an independent chart, and you could just quit there. And that back stitch honestly burnt me out so much that that I was like, maybe I just stop there and don't do the others. But then I looked at the others. I think I was just burnt out. Back stitching. The others have a lot less back stitching. So, and they're just so cute, and they just make a cute set. So here's another one of them. And you can see there is some, strands for the flowers, but not near the amount in the previous one. And then here's the third one. Again, there's a bit over in here, but again, not near the amount of the one I just did. So I got one done, but because this is a set, I'm not really counting it. It's still on my Whipco board. I'm not really counting it as a finish for the whole set until I got the other 2 done. But I am thrilled with that and how that turned out. So I'm not going to finish it until I get the other 2 done, which my goal is to finish the other 2 next year. That is a goal that I'm setting. So this is my 2 finishes this week, which I'm super excited about. I did not get 2 glitter houses. I know several of you commented, including my Aunt Gail, that they were so excited to see glitter houses again. It did not come out because I was finishing these other 2 projects, but it will come out not this coming week, but the following week for the end of August. Carolyn's balloons. Wow, you guys really loved Carolyn's balloons. I will insert, let me see if I can show you a picture. So so I don't forget to insert it really. This is a design, it's called Carolyn's Balloons. It was designed by my good friend Jan of Jan Hicks Creates. And it's a seasonal piece. So this is the autumn one. She's releasing it at Needlework Expo. And my phone is being a little slow, but we'll get it. So it's being released for Needlework Expo, and it's going to be a seasonal piece. It will be, here we go. This is what it will look like when it's finished. Isn't that cute? So it'll be a seasonal piece. I told her I wanted her to design something with hot air balloons and Quakers. And this is what she came up with. And I love it so much. So this is my 25/7 piece. And I worked on it a little more than that also, just because, you know, I want to get it done. So Melanie Watkins of Soulful Stitching has a Facebook group that's relatively new. It just started this month, called Cross Stitch 25/7. And I'm a member. I haven't posted this yet because I wasn't sure if I was allowed to show it. But Jen said yes, so I need to start posting it in that group. But here's where I'm at. Sorry, I had to pick the cat hairs off it. So here's where I'm at. So this balloon is completely done, and I'm working on this one. I just have the center to do. And then, sorry about that. My computer stopped recording because I was out of space on my computer. So I had to play around with that, and hopefully I deleted enough. We'll see. Oh gosh. Anyway, so what I was saying was this balloon is done. I'm working on this one and just have the center to do, but the basket is done. Isn't that a cute little design? And then there's little motifs that go around it as well. So I really loved working on this one. It's so cute. It's so fun. And like I said, it's a seasonal piece. So she's going to come out with 3 more for each season. And I'm super excited about that. So thank you, Jan. I love working on that. I did also pull out Trimming the Tree by Bendy Stitchy. This is what it will look like when it's done. I think it's so cute. And my goal on this is to finish it this year. This was for the Magazine Monthly Challenge. It's not even a magazine, but for the theme, again, for Robin's birthday, which was tree. So this has a tree in it. And I'll show you how far I got. My gosh, when I can sit down and actually work on it, I got the snowman done. So the snowman is done and the snowflake is done. And he looks like he's just holding his hands up in the air. So next up will be the tree. And so this will come out later to work on. This is just a mystery fabric that I got from Bestitch Me. I won a giveaway with, you know, kind of some remnants from their site. I thought this is perfect with the blue. So yeah, so that's where we got. So I was really happy to get him done. It just took me 2 evenings of stitching, about 6 hours. So it goes pretty quick once you can actually sit down and stitch on it. So I was happy with that progress on Trimming the Tree. And then last but certainly not least, I did get a little more done on a stitching shelf. I'm still working on organizing my threads, but I'm definitely getting there. And so I just did 1 more evening's worth of work on this, and I still want to work on it 1 more evening this month yet. But I just did some fill-in around here. You can see, you know, I want to go back and do, you know, kind of block it in. It's not too bad, you guys. I mean, I was expecting it to be 1 stitch here, 1 stitch there. I mean, it is confetti heavy, and I think I said this last time, but I've heard that the most confetti heavy is kind of in this first part. But I don't think it's too bad. Like, so far, I'm able to find stitches, you know, like if you're just doing 10 by 10 blocks, it might be worse. But because I'm willing to carry and go to, you know, I mean, I'm not doing like Sarah from Stitching Mommy did, which is mega cross country or anything like that. Some people in our group, we also have a Facebook group for this called A Stitching Shelf Sal, which you are welcome to join. Even if you're not stitching on it, if you just want to see people's progress, you can certainly join. But we were talking about carrying this down and get each, because it's seasonal, right? So spring is the first one. I assume summer is the second one, fall, and then winter is the bottom one. And just working down and not going across to get the start of each season. If you work on that, say for a year to get down to the bottom, and then you can work on it seasonally and say, okay, it's, whatever season or reverse season or, wherever, depending on where you live in the world. It's fall now, but it's spring in Australia. So, we're starting with the spring. So that's one thing that we've talked about. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. It's a good idea in theory. I just don't know if my brain can handle it. I don't know if my brain can stop going across, but we'll see. We'll see how far we can get down. It would be a good idea in theory. And I'm just stitching this on 18 count oatmeal Aida is all it is. So that is what I worked on. I feel like it was a pretty productive week. I should have moved. I have a chair right over here that I am plopping them down on. I feel like it was a pretty, I lost the word, productive week. I forgot to tell you that early bird bouquets took me 24 hours. I'm not sure if I told you that. It took me 24 hours start to finish. So, they're not, there's a lot more to them than it looks. And I think, like I said, that back stitching is really a lot. So let's go on to haul. The only haul I have is actually Stitchy Kindness from my good friend, Sarah from Stitching Mommy. If you watch her, which I'm sure most of you watch her, she recently finished this My Big Toe Designs Amazing Grace. And I had mentioned, just kind of how much I love it and that I would like to stitch it. This is my favorite hymn. And so she very generously offered to send it to me. And she is going to email me her adaptation that she did. So she made it a bit smaller, took out some of these motifs. So we'll see. I'm not sure which version I'm going to do yet. So we'll have to see, but I'm very excited to start on this. But boy, look at that. That border. I'm not sure. I can't remember what she did for the border, if she did a border. So I might have to take a look and maybe I'll do a little bit of both. But thank you so much, Sarah, for sending this on. That was so thoughtful and generous of you. And I'm excited to get started on that. Okay, giveaways. Let's talk giveaways. I am still waiting to hear from a couple people. So we gave this away a couple weeks ago. Cindy Martinez, or I guess last week. Cindy Martinez, I still need your address to get this sent out. So please email me at czukstitch@gmail.com and I will get this sent out once I have your address. And I'm also waiting on Susan Ann Milikas, Milikas. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your last name right. But you won this one last week, so I need your address as well to send out. As it turns out, my post office is not open on Saturdays, which is very inconvenient, especially now that I am going into the office to work. So I have some giveaways starting to stack up, but I should be able to get there next Friday when I'm working from home just over my lunch break and run it over. Okay, so this week we gave away Peppermint Snowflakes Tree by Just Nan. A lot of you were very interested in this. And the winner is Judy Stone. So Judy, congratulations. Please email me your address and I will get this sent out this week on Friday. Next up, we had this Leisure Arts October 1997. It's a magazine with various crafts in it, but several cross-stitch projects. And the winner is the Patient Stitcher. So congratulations. I do think I need your address as well. And then we had this cute little piece called One Small Miracle. This is by Mosey and Me. Very, very cute. It says it all begins with one small miracle. And the winner of this is Shaman Carmichael. So Shaman, I need your address as well. So those are who won the giveaways. And then I'm going to give away a few more. So first up, I'm going to pass along Educated because I finished mine. So if you would like an opportunity to, so this is open worldwide. Please don't say giveaway or anything like win or anything like that. And if you want to stitch this, say school. I think that's easier than educated. So say school, because we're thinking back to school. It's back to school time in the U.S. anyway. So say school if you would like to win that. I'll pass it along. I used a working copy, so the original is just fine. Next up, we have this. I love this one. This is another Just Nan. It's called Peddler Santa. And you can see Santa's kind of hawking his wares there. I think this is really cute and really funny because you know how like it's like he's a criminal, but he's not because he's Santa. Now, it doesn't come with any of the charms or anything. So there are some Just Nan embellishments. I'm not sure if those are still available. This is copyright 2003. So you can see there's some charms throughout, but I don't know if those are still available. They do not come with this chart. So just be aware of that you might have to kind of replace them. There's plenty of charms out there that you could find to replace them. This one is called for DMC. There is some Karen impressions called for, some Krynet called for, and then, like I said, the embellishments. It's 111 high by 75 wide, and it's called for as 28 count. So there you go. Oh, so if you want to win this, say Santa. And again, open worldwide. So say Santa for this one. And then next up, we have another Leisure Arts leaflet. This is called Santa Alphabet. And this is copyright 1990. So, but it's so cute. So it's the alphabet, each letter with a different Santa motif. So this is great. You could do it like they have it here, kind of like an Afghan, which I think would be cute. You could do a child's name or an initial. On the back here, they have some samples. This says welcome. You could spell out Merry Christmas. They have a little gift bag, it looks like, or a sachet with someone's initial on it. Noel. I think there's a lot of things you could do with this. This is very, very versatile. Especially if you have grandchildren, that would be cute to do like their initial as an ornament. Does it say? So they're all a little bit different sizes, but most of them are around 25 by 30. One is 26 by 30, 24 by 30. But so they're all within that range. So they're pretty small, so I think they go pretty fast. So if you would like to say this, or say this, win this, say alphabet. Okay, alphabet for this one. All right, let's talk plans. I'm gonna, I forgot to pull my plans. I'll be right back. Great video, isn't it? I got my things. Okay, so plans for this coming week. Tonight I'm actually going over to a friend's house who just passed a pretty major exam last week, and so we're going to go celebrate tonight. So I probably won't get much stitching in tonight, but I'm going to continue working on Carolyn's balloons every day. And then this week for the D in the bird acrostic is going to be Christmas dinner. This is from Stitcher's World, which is a magazine from like the late 90s, early 2000s. This is what it will look like. I love this one. I'll show you my progress. We haven't seen this one in a while. So I'm going to work on it a couple of days. So here is what it looks like so far. These are, I think they're supposed to be branches or something. I don't like the way they look. I think they look really random and out of place. They're just back stitches. So I'm probably going to take those out and just leave it be. But you can see, look at this tree. This tree is just, I mean, it's all back stitched. So I'm just going to continue working my way over, which again, I'll show you the picture. So you can see kind of there's that tree. It's all backstitched. So I'm just going to continue working my way over. I think maybe until I get to the Santa, and then I'll come back over here and do this. So then, like, this whole part will be completed. And then, because the Santa, I think, will be pretty intense. So that's kind of my loose goal of this one. But I'm going to work on this for 2 days this week. And I'm excited to pull it back out because it's been a while. But yeah, I'm going to take out those branches. And then you can see there's some holes in there, and that's where beads go at the very, very end. So we're getting there. We are getting there. So this is fun. This is, if you've been with me again for a while, you'll know I've carried this piece around with me when I cross-stitched before, and then I stopped for like 20 years. And so I've been carrying it around with me for forever. And I'm so glad to finally have it in my whip pile. And it does call for some Karen Water Lily silks, which is super exciting for me to work on silks. That's the first piece I worked on silks with. And then the other piece I'm going to pull out this week is Summer Quakers by Rosewood Manor. This is one of the Whip Go calls for this month. So this is what it will look like. I love the colors in this. I'm not going to stitch the alphabet though. So I'm going to take the alphabet off. But other than that, and this is, again, I'm stitching it with the called for Valdani threads. And this is on the called for Picture This Plus 28 count. I'm blanking on the name, even though I've used it on something else. I've used this fabric on my Funky Flowers. I know you're shouting the name at me. What is the name? Truffle. Truffle. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful fabric. So here's where I'm at right now. Oops. So I think we are done with the top 3 pages, well into pages 4. So we'll be starting on that row. My goal on this one is so I'm still working on Autumn Quakers, which I will finish this year. And then this one will be the one that I want to finish for next year, because we're getting there. We are definitely getting there. So this will be good. There's a big motif in the middle here where you can see the start of with that bee right there in the middle. So that's going to be a giant motif that goes down. And then there's another, here, I'll show you on here. It's probably a little bit easier. So I have this top bee done, but you can see how big it is there. And then you look at this motif. This is huge. So that one will take a while. But then that's because I'm taking out the alphabet. It will just be there. So, you know, we have this one is done. This one is just started. So I'll probably work in here. And yeah, I'm not sure what page it is. Anyway, it crosses over many pages, but that's where we're at. I love it. I think it's so, so pretty. So that is where we are at, and this will be the Whip Go call, and those are my plans for this week. It will be interesting, like I said, because I'll be back to commuting most days of the week, so fitting in the 25 minutes and then for 25/7, and then my 3 hours of stitching. So we'll see. We'll see how I do. But I think that is everything. I am going to be filming a shop with me video. I'm hoping to do it today, but time is a little short because that's going to be a long video. So it might not come out today. I might have to film it tomorrow, so it'll come out later tomorrow. I'm going to use the Garon Stitchery website because they have such a fantastic website to go through all of the new releases for Needlework Expo. Do keep in mind that I'm going to film it, but the deadline to pre-order from Garon is August 24th, so which is only a few days away. So please do keep that in mind. But watch for that video coming out as well. I'll try to get to it today, or part of it done today, and then part of it tomorrow. We'll just have to see how the time works out. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you next week.